Yeah, that's
It's a little bit more natural. It's not like a show. It's like it's a conversation.
Yeah, well, listen, it's a conversation being broadcasted live for everybody at this point. Yes, we are.
Is it actually working this time?
So far, so good. So far, so good. We'll see.
It's the Cares Done Beat Up podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cares Done, with my co-host, Derek Fisher. What's up, baby?
What's going on, baby boy?
Hey, we had a great podcast in the car already.
We always do. That's kind of a problem, actually. We need to speed up getting over here because we have like some hellacious conversations in the car.
They always lead into the pod, though.
Yeah, but I feel
every
like
time we see each other, it's a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Tom,
my mama.
No, real talk. It feels that way.
For real.
That says a lot how much we feel about our conversation.
I know, right?
We have phenomenal conversations every fucking time.
You don't think we did a podcast?
Tom, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. Life's good, man. I'm feeling good. Yeah,
Life
I'm in a
amazing.
maybe a good mood. Let's say.
That's
I don't know. Maybe even
vibe.
a good mood today. I don't even know.
You're in a good mood?
Who knows?
Talk to me. What's on your mind?
Things are just going well. Like the podcast studio is picking up. Got some other opportunities with the other business. And I just feel like things are, like working for us. I feel like, I feel like when you're kind of going through the struggle, it sometimes feels like it's like a step forward, step back, or like you're just not like progressing at the pace that you want. And I feel good about things now. So it's been good, man. Colton's been huge. He's been helping out a shit ton. He's been taking a lot of the shit that I don't like doing and handling that, which has been just like a blessing. So yeah, man, I'm good. That in the car. I'm good.
Yeah.
Man, it's
the ads are looking very, very, very fresh.
Yeah, the new space. Shouts out to the new
nice.
corner,
that nice.
So that's exciting. And yeah.
So explain for the people who don't know what the new space is.
So what you guys are seeing now is the main podcast space. So for 4 people, you can do this, you can do that. And it's got 3 cameras, but we needed a spot that would be good for solo stuff. So just like single person talking, or whether it was like a Zoom call or something like that. Sometimes we got times where it's like a guest is remote, and so the host is here and then the guest is remote. And so we could put up another camera and just shoot someone like, head on here, but it just doesn't make as much sense. And just so people aren't getting just a blank curtain, I was like, let's do another space and give it a little personality. And so you can fit 2 people there. There's a couple of different ways to do it. And actually we might might recruit you guys to do some shit with it later. I might force you guys to sit down and do some fake photos like we're going to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a nice little new addition, and just trying to kind of expand the business and such. I think it'll like solve some, not like it was a pain point, but it was something that we didn't have before. So I think it'll be.
Well, it's definitely going to work, because I'm just using myself for instance. If you want to do a podcast with someone who is remote, I was kind of weird about if you already have you've established this level of quality on your baseline with the podcast, and if you go Zoom, I guess you could use your phone, and it would work. And at the end of the day, who cares none, right? But if he's offering a service that you can now keep the quality of your baseline the same, whether it be Zoom or in live, you can't control the other person's Zoom, but you can control your part of the Zoom.
Right.
So I just think that's a huge thing to add to the business, man. It's a very good pain. Like you said, it's not really a pain point, but you just offered another service.
It's just checking another box. I mean, I think it was somewhat of a pain, but we had a couple of people that we do solo stuff, and it was like they're cool with it. But it'll be a new area, a fresh look. I've been at this a little over a year now, so it's time. It was time.
So it's actually
it's
interesting that you worded it like that, because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today was how do you find a purpose? Especially if you're a young cat and people are like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do, right? So I wanted to get your opinions, and then I wanted to just spit a little of my own game on. I would like to know both of you. We'll start with D. D, how, if someone asked you, how can I find my purpose? And why should you find a purpose? How would you help them with that? How would you answer that?
That's a big question.
I ask big questions.
Yes, you do. You're right. That's one of the classic ones. I think it's helpful to break yourself down into your different personality, your different characters. I think it's healthy to kind of see who you are, to separate yourself in different aspects. This is the way I did with my branding. So I had the pretty cool verse, right? And I was breaking that down into different businesses. So I was breaking it down. One was Pretty Cool Apes, Pretty Cool Storytellers, Pretty Cool Poses. So these are 3 different characters of me. Like, this is something I like. I'm into storytelling. So I created the comic book series, the clothing. I'm into the Pretty Cool Apes concept. So I created, like, I was working on the NFT section for it. And I got the poses, which is going to be delving into the modeling side of me and the way I feel about, connecting, with my person and shit like that. So these were different characters of me. And then I was able to like really dive into like one of those more deeply because I was able to break myself down, so deeply. So I would advise people to really just try to allow themselves to be a character for all the parts that are them. I would say give yourself room to create within those spaces, and then like feed them personality, feed them whatever personality you can imagine, but break it down so that you have an actual name for these characters. And it kind of like, that's kind of way you can balance out your life, I feel, in a gamified way, actually, too.
Yeah, that's all life is anyways, a damn game.
Yeah.
Literally, like,
that's kind of how I do it. That's why I broke down like the Pretty Cool world that I've created, and to try to just figure out what would I want to see in the world, what can I manifest in my head, and what story could I tell. So a lot of times we're probably jumbled up about what story we want to tell. We don't know if we have a story to tell. But it's like if you actually separate yourself and kind of give them actual characters, like this shit is the Looney Tunes, and you know what I'm saying, own them and give them some actual life and shit, and put something into it, and you can help yourself in that way.
So what you're saying is, if someone came to you and said, how do I find purpose? You're saying whatever your interests are, just kind of go, like, put energy into those interests.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of always been my thing. Yeah. Whatever I guess that's what would drive me to find my purpose. If I have this tick in my head and I have a thing called interest, I know I can resolve that, that tick in my head by going after those interests. You know what I mean? So it's just about compartmentalizing them. I think that's what I would probably give to people. Like, just compartmentalize these thoughts and don't think it's overwhelming. Give them actual character, give them actual, some clout behind their names or whatever have you. I created it into a business format for mine, but however you can separate that and then build upon it, like you can create whatever character you wish to be, so you just got to give it some life.
See the thing, because there's people that are stuck before that, because the way you just explained it was, I just decided to do this, and this, right? Which is the correct answer. But then there's some people they can't get to the point. Well, they don't even start to look for a purpose. They know there's something, they just don't know. So to give them to give someone, like, what I would suggest, and I want to ask you next time, is whatever you have to be okay with doing, with looking stupid and trying to just love whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So I think you just do it, and you do it with intent. Let's say you want to look better, right? So you go to the gym in high school. So all of a sudden you're in the gym now and you're getting used to that. And all of a sudden I kind of like bodybuilding. And then all of a sudden you're like looking, maybe I become a bodybuilder. And then maybe all of a sudden now you're in the commercials or something. So my point is that you have to find the one thing that you're interested in, be willing to look stupid doing it, because I think that's a key. I think a lot of people won't search for the purpose because, what if I kind of want to do this, but if I put it out, I'm gonna look stupid, and and you have this perfectionism, and you're worried you'll get judged and shit like that. So I think we have to help people to find your purpose. I think the first way to do that, in my opinion, is to work on yourself. So all the mental self-work, all the reflection, I think that's because then I think that the natural path of self-development, or just bettering your shit, whatever that means, even physical or not, will lead you naturally to different things that spark your interest. And because now your confidence is up of the self-development, then you won't give a fuck, and then you'll just start doing the things that you love to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I think once you get over the fear of other motherfuckers, then that's when you can start finding your purpose, because then you don't give a. And here's the thing: whatever you're into, out of the 8 billion people on Earth, somebody else is into that shit, because ain't nothing really original about shit that's going on. We're all just kind of, agree with this, aren't we all just kind of just evolving the same shit?
Yeah.
From stories, from products, from anything. transportation. It's all the same shit. We're just making it better.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever it is you're into, especially because of the internet, because you could just go on the internet and literally you don't even got to find the communities. The algorithms find them for you. You just go on the TikTok or go on the Instagram or whatever you go on, search panda bears, and all of a sudden it's going to start feeding you panda bear shit. So you don't even have to create, you don't even have to go looking for them. The communities will find you.
Right.
And I just think that's really interesting. But you got to be okay doing something that you might be uncomfortable with at first, because you know what, I want to try bass fishing, but I'm kind of weird because there's people there, right? So you have those kind of situations where people would try something, but they're afraid to even give it a shot. So I think the best way to find your purpose is to do the inner work, ask yourself the tough questions, be completely okay with whatever the fuck you want to do, and then allow that to just naturally lead you in a direction of the thing that you want to do. That's my opinion. I don't know. What about you, Tom? If someone asked you, how do I find purpose?
I want a
what
clean motherfucking answer.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit brief, hopefully. But I think purpose for me is kind of like evolving, where it's like I don't really, if I had to like write down what my purpose is today, like I don't know what I would say. Like I think it's kind of like what your interest is at the time and such. But to your point, I do like and appreciate the point of like, don't care about what other people say, because I feel like kids, you grow up and you're like, okay, what's my purpose? And it's like, okay, well, I can't, I really like playing with Legos, but I probably can't make a living playing with Legos. So like maybe I like numbers, so maybe an accountant. You kind of like skew what you maybe would really want to be doing to like just make it fit within like society and what's like realistic. And I think not enough people are willing to like commit to like, dude, if you really if Legos are your thing, like
you could make that your thing.
You could be a
Especially
YouTuber.
Nowadays.
You could be a YouTuber, do Legos. You could, I'm sure there's like Lego product developers and shit. Like
100%, right.
Just about anything, like you said, with the internet and just the ability to like
I should actually suggest that,
get into communities or just like have knowledge of things. Like you can just go on the internet and you could figure this sort of stuff out. So
like I said, you don't even got to find it. It'll find you by just searching the shit.
Yeah.
You'll just naturally run into a whole community of like, oh damn, people into this shit.
Yeah.
Boom.
And so I feel like it's purpose. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I don't know if you guys feel as like adamant about it, but like, I don't know what my purpose is, but I'm just trying to like, I just like doing what I like doing now. That shit might change in the tomorrow. And I think, too, like, with life and stuff, you're going to end up, your purpose might have been your career doing this and that, but then you have a kid, and then that kid quickly becomes like, oh, dude, that's my purpose. And then it's like putting food on the table, raising the family is my purpose. And then once the kids are out, it's like, all right, well, shit, what's my purpose again? And like, I see a lot of people go through that right now with going into retirement. It's like, they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And so I think purpose is like evolving. I think that's not a weird way to look at it, but it's kind of like
I think you're creating characters throughout life to fit different purposes when they come up, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, you kind of create the character you need at the time that you need it. But saying that it's fluid, it's not something that you can have to be stuck on. And that's what we were talking about in the car too. Like, you don't have to be stuck on necessarily whatever character you're creating yourself.
Oh yeah, bro. So this is changing the game, because I think I can help people. Like, this is a good way to look at getting over, like, especially social anxiety. We create personas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We all have a persona. Tom, would you do me a favor? And could you Google the definition of persona so we can get an official?
Like a whistle.
Again, because I'm telling you right now, once you get this concept, the game can change big time.
It is the aspect of someone's character that is presented to or conceived by others.
Right. So what that means is you create this bubble, this metaphoric bubble of who you are, and you present that to the world, right? That's what a persona is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might watch somebody on TV in The Rock, his persona, he's this stand-up, distinguished, sometimes looks like a good father. That's his persona. He could be beating the hell out. I don't know. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
but I don't know.
Allegedly, according to Chris right now.
Yeah, allegedly. My point is that you don't know, that's his persona.
Yeah.
The problem with and personas are good a lot of times. You can make a persona of yourself as who you think you are or who you desire to be, your persona, the thing that you decide to show the rest of the world. you can create this persona of the things that are fucking awesome to you. I want to be trustworthy. So, okay, you write down in your metaphorical what the hell you want your persona to be. Trustworthy. You aim to be that, you know, or you know, a good guy or a great lover or whatever your thing is, right? You dictate that and you be that, and those are awesome. But then there's an other side to that coin, though, because personas are also the things that you don't like about yourself. So, so my point is those were also created. And the reason why they were created, and I can prove this, when you were a kid, like a toddler baby, you're just living life. You don't know anything about what you should or should not do. You haven't been indoctrinated, nothing, you know. So then you're just doing things and just creating an imagination in life. And then you getting all these different stimuli, and then all of a sudden you do something one day to dad, and all of a sudden you were just being yourself, and you was like, ooh, and you knocked the water down, and he got pissed off. Then you were like, whoa, okay, what just happened here? I don't know what's going on. So then you create this like layer of you learn from that experience. Damn, okay, if I do something like that can make him feel that way. I don't really like how that felt. I don't like the emotion. I remember this emotion. So then you create a part of your persona that can hopefully protect you from that in the future. And we do this on every experience that you go through in life, right? It's good and bad. But then we hold on to those bad ones, though. The thing about a persona that I'm starting to learn is we literally create them, so you do not have to be attached to them because you're the ones who created it. So like I'll read the comments, and shout out to the commenters, man. They've been killing it, man. The engagement has been fired. It's just been awesome. We'll get into that later. But a lot of the comments, they'll say things like, I'm so socially anxious, right? Stuff like that all the time. That's what my page is for. And I get that. I kind of want to see that because then I can help those people. However, that person, when you say, I'm this way and I can't do that, the part that's, you've created that. You've created that part of your persona. For some reason, something happened to you in the past that you created this persona to protect you from something.
Some life shit happened.
And you was like, oh man, and you didn't like the way it felt at the time. So then because human beings, and tell me, you probably know about this, human beings are really good overall at protecting ourselves. Probably because of the storytelling. If we get down to the root of it.
Right.
That's how we became the apex predator, is because we are really good at figuring this shit out, right? So then we also figure out how to stay safe from everything, including mental shit. The problem is when that gets in the way of the things that you want to do. So again, if you know you created that, because you created that so you wouldn't have to feel that negative experience again. So you created a layer of your persona.
Right.
But you still created it. That's the key. You have to realize that, okay, yes, and it makes sense. Tell me if I'm not logically making sense. If something happened to you the very first time it ever happened, now you have to create, am I going to do this again or not? Am I the kind of person who will go through that again or not? Like, how am I going to handle this going forward?
Right.
So then you create that kind of almost affirms who you believe you are. And it adds to your confirmation
what decisions
bias.
you would make when what decision is given to you.
Right. And then the next time you make it, that this certain situation comes up, you will go back into your life bank and be like, oh, I remember this shit. So no, I'm gonna handle it this way now. Right. And like I said, in some situations, that's fucking awesome. If I see a damn lion over there, and last time I got away, the second time you see a lion over there, last time you probably should get away. You know, you're gonna get your ass. But if you don't realize that you created that shit, then it's gonna be really hard for you to change to this other thing that you desire to be, which is not socially anxious.
What in the comments, what are the people saying that's allowing them not to change? What's allowing them to think that it's not just a part of a persona that they created?
So
is it like the story behind it is too heavy?
So I'll be honest, this is kind of more of a new thing that I haven't really brought up a lot.
Okay.
I think I said it in a couple of lives or whatever, but the whole persona thing is actually very powerful in this situation, because we create the personas that we don't like about ourselves too. And we attach to them. And then once I realized, again, like I was telling you in the car, and I still suggest you do this, on a piece of paper or a big poster board, write I am, and then write out all the things that you desire to be. I am trustworthy. I am kind. I am wealthy. I am whatever, right? All the things that you want to be, the good things. And then you could just be that. Just be those things on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what you can also do. Get that same list and say, I am, and then write the bad shit, the things that you don't like about yourself, right? And then you're like, damn, I don't like when I do this sometimes. And again, a lot of people, this is where it gets hard. This is that hard shit that motherfuckers don't want to deal with that shit. Ask yourself the things you don't like about yourself. Write that shit down. And then realize you don't got to be that. You get to choose of all your whole list of shit. You get to choose which side of what you want. It really comes down to a choice. And again, it ain't like a snap your finger. It takes time. You gotta do all the self-work, and you gotta do the meditation. You gotta read you gotta do that to solidify that the self-development is worth doing. Because if you don't because some people are like, what's the point of self-development? For what?
Self-love, baby.
I know, but
yourself.
So that's the key, and some people are genuinely probably like, I don't give a fuck. Hey, much love to you. But for those that do want to develop and create in this world and just not be consumers all the time, I want to be a creator.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you kind of put me on this like just get off the consumer mindset.
Yeah, it's a wormhole.
Yeah, because
I mean, you have to be part of it, and that's fine. But just to only be that it's a lot. It's a lot that we don't even think about. We don't really put into context like how much being a consumer can, like, that can be a cycle of you not being able to tell your story at all. Like, put your input in this world, and it can be overwhelming when you really look at it.
Yeah, and then
you just a hamster on the wheel with the consumership.
Right. And then who the fuck am I, right? But it almost feels like this. I know it's a cliche, but it almost feels like an unplugging from a matrix. It almost feels that way to some degree, metaphorically speaking. And then I'm like, oh shit. I was like, damn, that was me. I was doing that.
Yeah, I can say it. Yeah.
Because there's some things like for instance, you probably shouldn't do certain things from the experiences of history. If you tend to do these things tend to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So about wearing the chain, remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
Is it right or wrong? I would argue that we believe that it is wrong. He got fucked up for his chain. Horrible. But I can also see the argument, or not argument, but just the whole perspective of, well, you wore a vicious chain and you went to an area where that could potentially, or whatever it is, you put yourself in a situation.
You fucked around and you found out, bro.
Right, right. So, I don't know what you do, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
It is.
It is what it is. But so you said with the purpose, ultimately, what were you saying? Is that how would you answer that question quickly?
I mean, I feel like it was for me. Purpose is like tough, but I feel like just doing stuff that you're interested in. But I don't know if that totally connects to what we're chatting about here and such. But let's talk about comments and stuff, because I want to hear about some of the stories, because I see you post things, and I feel like you've from even months ago where I felt like you were, in comparison to now, shooting wide with your content a little bit, and you were just like I feel like you've really drilled into what you want to be doing, and I feel like you're striking gold a little bit. You kind of hit the oil well. So
and that kind of goes back into the purpose, the idea of purpose, right? Because I don't think I would have found this narrow of a niche had I not been okay with the self-development. That's kind of all leads into this. Is this is my whole formula, and it's always been this from the beginning. Work on my own shit. Just get your shit together, Chris. You don't feel right. You out here jagging. You're overweight. This is my personal, like, something's got to give. It was I had a rock bottom feeling. And I was like, I'm about to work on it. But because I think I was naturally silly, naturally people person, naturally extroverted, I just was always out there, right? But then the internet came up, and Snapchat, not the internet, Snapchat, the internet, like I'm that old. Snapchat came out, and then that was like the first time it was like you like being your own show, so to speak,
for 24 hours.
Right. And I was like, oh, okay, then started doing that shit.
I was heavy. Oh my God.
But I knew I wanted to be just, now what I know now about life, I like the energy at the end of the day. But, you know, if we bring it past that, I like attention. And I'm like, oh, I kind of like how this feels. And then like a lot of people say you're super funny. So I knew I was changing people by making them laugh. Right. But then occasionally I would throw a couple of, you know, feel goods just because that's who I am. Since you've known me, I've been this way. And I just kept doing that. But people followed me for the comedy, which was cool. The problem with the comedy is you have to come up with ideas. You know, that's what makes, you know, stand-up comedy so tough, because you got to come up with the ideas, you got to work them out, you know. And I just didn't want to keep coming up with comedy ideas, but I wanted to be silly because I know I'm naturally funny.
That's working for you.
So
one of your characters.
It's one of the characters for sure. So then, but I was like, oh well, I kind of rather make this content, you know, it's kind of I was self-development content, because I'm just working on myself and just showcase it, or comedy. And I'm like, you know what? And I had the whole audience, my Instagram audience, they knew me for being silly. And I can tell because the analytics, anytime I did anything that wasn't silly, they went way down. What I know now about having an audience, it shouldn't matter. You should just give a fuck about those 20 people. If only 20 people liked your shit, that's the key, y'all. Anybody who wants to like grow a social media, and it's hard to do in the beginning because the vanity metrics, you know, like, oh, the views and the likes. If you can change your perspective to the 4 people who viewed your shit, that's 4 potential people who really fuck with you. And if they like it and leave comments, even if it's just one, that's one potential, like, that you don't even know who that person is.
Right,
what if that person was low key, like Oprah Winfrey, just fucking around? You know, I'm just saying, you just don't know. So change your whole philosophy as opposed to getting, and that's hard. I'm telling you, that's just hard to do. But if you could just say, just offer value, just think about that. Think about the value. I feel like that is what changed in me. Even when I talk about when the change happened, where I just said, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the value. And the value for me personally was working on my own shit and documenting it and just showing that it's relatable. And I know I have the gift of gab. I have the gift of energy, right? I know people always feel some type of way about me, even if it was bad. Like if I was in a shitty mood, everyone knew it. It's just full of energy. I don't know what like I'm on drugs or some shit all the time. So I knew I had that. So then I just packaged it up. But then I said, and it was the exposure therapy videos that really hit. And I think the reason why it's hitting is because it's authentic as hell. Because I'm genuinely fucking. I'm showing you the things that I want to. I'm literally just doing my own shit and documenting it and having the courage to tell the story. That's all it is. Because a lot of people, okay, they'll do the work, they'll even document it, but they don't really have the courage to tell the story. I'm like, you will help so many people literally by just fixing your shit, because everyone feels alone. I see that in the comments all the time. I just feel so alone. Like everybody feels this way. So it's like, bro, you ain't alone. Because people look at me like, oh, you have social anxiety. Like, yeah, man, it's fucking weird. You don't think that shit's weird? It feels weird to me too. You know, and I'm breaking it. And I think that the videos, and they all popped. And then people just started saying, oh, this is the kind of content he's making. And then because I genuinely wanted to do it, it wasn't forced like the comedy was. Now I can keep it more consistent. I can keep it more consistent because it's authentic shit that I'm working on. Yeah, I'm reading every day. I'm listening to the podcast. I have these high level conversations with you guys and shit all the time. So I just have content to talk about.
Well, and I feel like it's probably a more, noble thing to be pursuing too. Because I feel like in comedy, like to get let's say 10,000 people to be like, haha, that was funny. Like, a brief moment in your day versus maybe 100 people are like, yo, I've watched all of your videos, dude. Like your content has like changed me as a person. I feel like I'm getting out of my shell. I'm doing this. Like that is so much more just like deep connection and like useful, I would say useful content, but like, that's I'm sure the satisfaction of, reading those comments and stuff like that is been good because
and here's the thing,
people,
Tom. The shit I share on my IG stories.
It's probably just a little bit, yeah.
On my mother's grave, may she rest in peace. 0.01% of it.
Yeah, I bet.
Probably less than, if I'm being honest. Some of those comments, some of those videos, 20,000 comments, 95% love. And there's a lot of that. And now people are like hitting me up, and shout out to y'all. Yeah, they hit me up personally in the DMs. And at first, now shout out to TikTok. They finally offered the feature where you can DM directly on TikTok. But you couldn't for a while. So the only way to directly talk to someone on TikTok was to go through their Instagram if they had a link.
Hey, people figure it out.
No, you figure it out because you have the link on Instagram on there, and it takes you straight to Instagram, and then you go to you just message them straight up. But that's what's even more powerful about that is because you know how quick we are to not. Damn, I gotta do these many swipes. You know, it's literally swipes. If it's too many swipes, we ain't fucking with it, right? But if someone's willing to swipe, press, go over there, write some real shit. Because why would anyone lie about it? Why would you go out of your way to message someone personally and say your shit is really fucking helping me? Why that would be so weird, I would think. I don't know.
Well, even to get to that point, because there's plenty of stuff that I see that I'm like, this was helpful. This was a great, like, I'll watch YouTube videos where I'm like, oh shit, this was perfect for me. Like, I'm looking at buying some gear. It's like, this video is perfect. I'm not going to go like, I don't even comment half the time. So like, there's probably even more people that you're like impacting that are just like, I'm not about that comment life. And like, I'm not going to hop over and like go write him some sob story. Probably, he doesn't give a shit. Like, but it's cool, and so like, if you get a shit ton of people DMing you still, like there's probably 10x amount of people that still appreciate it that just aren't writing it.
Right. And that was actually was a pain point in the beginning with selling the clothes, because now I have a site that you can go to. And some people at first it was you had to hit me up on the DMs. That was a way to do it. And shout out to y'all. But one, you had to have the confidence to do it. You had to not want to feel like it's weird. Like even if you liked my shit, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna bother. Or so I didn't have the site up. And now that solved that pain point. So let's say you do want to support and you do like what the brand stands for and you want to represent, but you don't necessarily want to talk to me, then you can go to the site. And that was a huge pain point at first. So you're right. I guarantee for all of us, for everybody, for you, me, you, I know for a fact that there's way more people that fuck with you than those few likes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Loki, I want to derail it to something less noble and such like that. But now that I feel like you popped off a little bit, how is the clothing stuff? Are you is traffic switching over to that or?
So I get a lot of volume on the site still, which is good. But again, we're talking about optimizing. I think with this whole new audience, I don't have the equity like I had with the other audiences, especially my Facebook audience. They've been essentially my audience for fucking 15 years. They genuinely know me, whereas the Instagram cats knew me for 2 or 3 years. Is that me? Oh,
I hear somebody buzzing.
Oh, the Instagram cats know me for a couple years, and then my TikTok cats know me for 5 months, 6 months. So in order for them to trust, because you have to trust somebody if you're going to purchase from them, some guy you met on the internet, you know what I'm saying? It'd be one thing if I had this brand or you can go to the store and you see it, but just some guy on the internet you just came across and you just so happen to like his content. You have to build equity in those people. They will come. I'm not even worried about that shit because I just know it's just a matter of time. As a matter of fact, Google proved this. They did a study that it takes people 7 touch points before they, on average, make a purchase with your brand. On average, they see your ad, then, okay, let me see. Then, you get on the email list. Okay, you see a couple emails, 2. Oh, you got an Instagram. Boom, now that's 4. 7 different touch points of your brand in any way, and that is on average when people make a purchase. And it could be 7 straight TikTok videos. It could be 7 lives. Is whatever your situation is. So as far as the audience, but as far as the sales converted over on the clothing line, so far it has not gone up. Okay. However, the engagement has gone up 1,000x. Like no joke, 1,000x. And at the end of the day, at the very fucking end of the day, that's That's the key to me. I eat, I have, you know what I'm saying? I'm well. I got a new car. I'm not struggling, right?
Mhm.
The shit'll come. All we got to do, what we talk about all the time, is you got to put the offered products and services out there and let them come. And I get there's ways to show your ass and shit, but I'm going to trust in the whole idea of authentic, real shit, value. And if you want to hit up a couple of the products and services I have, so be it. That would really be helping me out, and it would be helping you out because I'm trying to design it with that in mind. But cool. But if you don't want to do none of that, just consume all the content and get your shit together at the end of the day, because I'm fine. I'll be okay because I've always just been okay, right? So they'll come. I'm not even remotely worried at all.
He also has created more services for himself.
I wanted to hear. Yeah, I was about to say, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, we got it down with Calendly. We got some.
Yeah, I just because De'Eric came to me, and I knew it was going to get here eventually. Consultations, right?
That's where I was going with this because you said services, and I was like,
yeah,
services do you offer? And I was like, at some point, like wearing a Carrot's Nut hoodie is not going to maybe help people the same way as if you had like a
but I am designing it because as far as the hoodie, I really believe this in my heart. And I know you probably disagree with this. No, hold on. Let me tell you why.
You're my enemy.
Let me tell you why I disagree with that a little bit. It actually really can help you. And here's the reason why. Because it helps me. Let's say I'm running, right? And I want to give up because running sucks, right? A lot of times I'll look down at the fucking logo. No, sometimes literally I can prove it. When you're running on the treadmill and there's a TV in front of you, the reflection literally is of this every time. So whenever I'm having those moments, I literally look down, and I'm like, okay, if you about what you be talking about, you have, and it pushes me literally, quite literally. And I'm not saying that metaphorically. It literally pushes me.
I believe that.
So my point is, I really want to get it to a place where people say, damn, the shit that I have remembered, all his content, everything that I've gotten from him, you can put all of that into the brand when you see it. So let's say you have a big fucking, I literally envision this. I'm gonna make a commercial like this. You got a big test coming up or a presentation. I'm gonna wear my Carrot's Nut shirt and I'm gonna kill it. I literally think that. I think it can, and listen, people have wrote me and told me that it literally changes their like vibe when they put it on. I swear to God, I am not making that up.
It's a vibe.
So people will put the shit on, and I'm like, that's intrinsic value.
Maybe that's because I haven't gotten one.
A hoodie, huh?
I haven't gotten a hoodie. Maybe that's why I'm hating.
You feel
I haven't
like
gotten
Superman
my Carrot's Nut hoodie.
Okay.
I haven't bought one though. You know,
but some people really. I tell you, I've got those comments. So it's like so. But again,
I it shouldn't have been something like that because like I believe in that, and I think that it makes sense. Like, yeah, you look down, you're like, oh shit, man, this is what I'm doing this for. And that's why people keep pictures of their kids in their wallet and shit like that. So that's not one of those things. But I was like, you could probably, for people that are, it's like this. So let's talk about the consultation.
So here's so De'Eric came to me, and he's doing his explain what you were doing so we can give you a shout out.
Right. So I'm pretty cool poses. I'm fully live now. I put Calendly on my website so that I can actually have some bookings. And I actually got complimented yesterday. I had a modeling gig, and as soon as I walked in, he said, first and foremost, I want to compliment you on your booking system on your website. That was the most flawless thing I've ever done. I'm like, oh shit, okay, thank you, my man. That's cool. I was like, so it was really, really clean cut, and it just got me to thinking like service. It just got me to put myself in a position where I can offer services rather than just my figurines and clothing, which are my products. So I was like, okay, let me set something up. I do have clientele. I got, 5 different universities hitting me up for modeling and whatnot. And I'm doing my sip and paint parties and whatnot. So I'm like, let me get some actual structure to it.
That's what I'm saying. Tell people about the sip and paint.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have the sip and paint parties too, where I'm offering, you can go to website, prettycoolposes.com. Check out the different packages. I have 3 different packages. And then, so I was offering those packages, but but
let's explain to people what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, what you would get is you would get me. You would get a model for, depending on the package you choose, you would get me for an hour. Let's say you have a bachelorette party and you want to do something fun, something different.
Or bachelor party.
Either way it goes. Let's go.
What all is included, though? You know.
Right. Well, depending on the package.
Whoa.
Well, no, but honestly,
it depends on the package. I'll give you this package.
So we have a pretty cool package, pretty
ridiculous.
fun package, and a pretty wild package. Yeah, wild package.
Y'all can imagine what happens with that. Pretty.
You know what I'm
wild.
saying? Honestly, it's just hors d'oeuvres and some champagne. We
Okay, hey, shut
So, but they can paint you.
But they can paint me. You can have like, let's say you have a party. You bring I'll bring the art supplies, the stencils and all that good stuff. And then let's say for 2 hours you paint with your peoples. I'll be the model. We'll do different positions, and I'll go from there. I'm offering my body as a vessel for storytelling for any story you want to have with your people.
Honestly,
You should add like dancing too. You should after
I just saw this video of this dude dancing on this like lady that was about 105. He was a male stripper, and I'm like, I'm not going to.
So you will not.
I'm not about to be doing this to 99-year-old.
I will say though, I feel like bachelorette parties and stuff like that. That's actually like kind of a unique idea because it's like it's not just a male stripper, but you are there naked, so you get a little bit of that.
But it's classy,
sexual tension,
it's
like a sexual tension. I can flirt,
but
and
it's
whatnot.
less like
I can even serve out the hors d'oeuvres and whatnot. I'm
butt ass.
He'll do it.
I support.
You know what I mean? So that's
you need to get on Groupon, bro.
That's the one. So when I created
good peoples,
right? So when I created that package, thanks for piggybacking on. But when I created that package and figured it out, like the pricing and whatnot, it just really expanded the service that I could offer, like a bigger service. So let's say one of my packages is $99, which is the pretty wild one. It's $99 a person but if you get, it's a 5-person minimum. Plus if you get 10 people, then the host is free or something like that. Just kind of breaking down your packages and whatnot. But I allowed myself to expand with my business as far as like the services on that side. So I already have the services for the life drawing with the universities. Then I offer that one. And so, but to bring it back to you, I was thinking like that would be perfect for you to offer in service form. But your best quality is, like we were talking about the other day, that your best quality and the way you can do this is your time. Your time is the best packaging that you can get. See, I'm offering my
literally because it's the most
right. I'm offering my body as the service, but yet the product too. Your time is literally the service and the product. Well, your product as your clothing and whatnot, but your time is your service, especially when it comes to consulting people and whatnot, or coaching or whatever have you. But that's the best quality you can have, and for you to break it down like you have, that was really clutch.
So what happened, Tom? So he came to me with his Calendly, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, and I knew. I think I threw it out there once, like a year and a half ago, to some guy. I was like, remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, because we were like, dude, you got to package up what you do and what you know, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw it out there to this one guy, and he was like, how much, and that kind of thing, right? But it was a big deal because it was the first time I offered my service. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, that's a great idea, D. And you don't realize how easy it is to put that on your site. It's like so easy to the internet now, especially with AI and shit popping up.
Now it's different.
It's like it's so easy to have your shit looking plush for relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
Very fast and quick. It's super easy. Like to get a site and shit, it ain't fucked up. It ain't hard.
Yeah. That extension was super easy.
Super easy. Like the easiest shit ever. You gotta put in the fucking copy and
the code.
Just not even.
Yeah.
You just put in the copy, you got to write out, and then you can have AI write the fucking copy. So you really ain't got to do shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, boom, you know what? But you know me, I always stew on it, which is probably one of my flaws. I stewed on it. And then I did a live, and 2 or 3 of the people were like, do you do consultations? And I'm like, funny you say that, but it's like,
me in the background scrambled it. Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's how the clothing brand started.
Yeah.
But I didn't even have I didn't have a link for that person.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do. It's coming out. I didn't even have the offer.
Right.
That person wanted it, and I didn't have it prepared. Right.
Right.
So it happened 2 or 3 times. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what you doing now?
Mm-hmm.
The pain point I was having, and we're being authentic here. I'm gonna be real. It was the imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
That was the pain point I was having. A lot of people probably have that. What do I know? This is the thoughts I'm having in my own head, which is my whole idea of this whole brand. It's the things that I think about myself, right? Because I'm thinking, what if they think that, are you getting value for it? So if you spend $200 with me for my time, because that's how much my time would cost, whatever I price it as, are you getting value back for that? And I was having a hard time because I'm thinking, does it need to be so structured? Remember that? Or do you need to have a label that you got an official's confidence coaching label now? And boom, will that help
Mommy,
you?
wow.
And so there's these things.
I'm a big kid now.
And there was these things that I guess maybe my perfectionism, which is a fancy way of saying insecurities, right?
Right.
Right. At the end of the day. And I'm like, well, and I gotta do this before I start. I gotta do this before I make it official. And I gotta do this and I gotta get this and I gotta build this resume, so to speak. But then when you and I sat down and talked about it, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, it comes down to energy, right? At the very core of everything.
And
how much energy, asking myself, how much energy have you put into the things that you feel like you know personally?
Right.
And then I go back in my life for the last 15 years, maybe 17 now since 2020, 17 years since I first lost weight, I've been on a pretty serious trajectory of self-development. No joke, 100 books, read and listened, hundreds of thousands, maybe not hundreds, but definitely thousands and thousands of hours of YouTube videos. High-level podcast now. And when I mean by high level, I mean talking with someone who I deem to I wouldn't just waste my time talking to somebody I didn't want to talk to. Having conversations with, putting myself around as many people as I possibly can that we have these kind of talks, right? And I'm also taking the confidence course. But here's the thing about the confidence course is like, I feel like I already know the shit, that it's like, because I'm reading it because what I told myself is I'm going to take this as if I'm the person I'm training, right? But I'm reading this shit and I'm trying to fill it out as if this person who's lacking confidence, but it's hard to do when I'm like, I would never say that personally, but I still have to like put myself
maybe it's in. It's like a reassurance for you, even like for a person that wants to be a confidence coach. It's like a reassurance
because I want to be confident that I know that I can confidently make. And you look at it, it's
like, man, I don't even need this probably.
Well, I guess my point is you calling yourself a confidence coach. You got to get motherfuckers confident.
Right.
Because that's what you're claiming, right? So, and that's the imposter syndrome kicking in, like, do I do that? Do I have that? But then I have to like sit back and cut out all the bullshit and look at the facts. And the facts are you've sold 6 figures in clothing because they support your brand, right? So people definitely will spend $300 on some hoodies that represent what you talk about. So and there's people who have spent thousands over the grand total. You know what I'm saying? Like specific one person $1,000 in orders. So my point is that obviously means that there's value there. Not to mention the hundreds of comments of positive comments before the TikTok shit.
Right.
Hundreds, and then not to mention, and then you add the TikTok, and you're like, whoa, the shit you're talking about really is registering with people. And it's the same shit I've been saying since 2012, and I got the proof because of the Facebook memories. So this ain't like some shit that's made up. No, seriously, Facebook memories.
I'm doxxed.
The Facebook memories is actually fire.
I'm doxxed, baby.
Because you can see where the fuck your story is going, where you were, where you got, and you can like solidify to yourself, like, damn, I really was about that life. Anyways, so I'm like, talking to you. Dude, you got it. Package your shit. And then learn as you go. And that's another thing too, because if I'm gonna put it out there, I want to put it out quality. I don't want to put out some shit that's just half, and that's just part of me. It's like you. Right. You want your shit to look nice. That's why we're at this podcast, because it's fucking nice.
Right.
The audio is nice.
Right.
I want the clothing to be nice. I want my whole fucking brand to be, okay, that's a quality brand that stands for something, the person running it. So then if I'm going to put out these coaching consultations, I want it to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have it where you feel like, damn, I would have paid $1,000 for that.
Right.
So but I think the only way to do that is to believe that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you offering. But then when a motherfucker looks you in your eye and says, Chris, thank you for changing my fucking life.
Yeah.
Is that not worth $1,000 to someone?
A motherfucker looks at you like, Chris, help me.
I
got you.
If someone's willing to spend $1,000 on a hoodie somebody's willing to spend $100 to talk to me for a fucking hour.
Right. I mean,
because when time is valuable to me, you know what I'm saying? So you got to put it's energy, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say the biggest energy you have is your time. Starting out, you can package things however you may see fit in the future, but time is the biggest thing on your side. People need your time, and if you can package that's a good baseline. That's a good baseline for any type of consultation thing. I mean,
yeah, it'll start, but I mean, and then there will come a time where my time will be almost. I'll have to price it because I won't have that much time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And that's what a lot of the big dogs say. When you get all your businesses are bopping, you ain't got the time to have an hour and a half talk. So then you price it where you don't really want to do it no more because you don't have the time. Mm-hmm. You make it so like, damn, if you really want to do this, it's going to cost you this. And then motherfucker pay that, honor that. But then you realize, okay, maybe you got to go a little higher.
Right.
Because I do want to help people, but there will be a time where I can't help everyone for the price it is because I won't have enough time.
Right, of course. But you're in the business of in the service of like time though, like specifically when it comes to consultation. Excuse me. That's what I like about your service that you're offering. It's like you can really like I don't know who else, but I guess you probably do study a lot of people that are in that realm. But like just to see how do they kind of utilize their time and whatnot as far as like the consultation times, like when do you book with them and how often do you do it? Is it monthly? Is it yearly?
So I guess the cool thing is I'm gonna just fly by the hip and learn that as I go.
Right.
And I think that was what was stopping me before is not knowing those answers.
Okay.
And I finally just said, you know what? Fuck that. Just you came with a good baseline. It was super easy. Let's just get on the ball. Guess what? It might the first one might be fucked up.
Right.
Just like my first video was fucked up. Just like your first piece of content versus now.
Never.
Yeah.
I don't make mistakes.
Every content is perfect.
Fire.
So then I packaged it up. And so that's where that stemmed from, man. And
nice package though. Nice package.
Super nice package. But super
for Mr. Smith.
Fat package.
Thick.
But here's what I'm doing. I am offering a free product because I know a lot of people follow me for the exposure therapy. This is not out yet. It is coming out. And a lot of people, and I'm telling you, this exposure therapy shit is powerful. Mm-hmm. I'm living proof because I'm proving it on camera. Literally proving the exposure therapy. So it's gonna be a free PDF, get you in the funnel. And then I'm gonna have it written out real nice and clean, understanding what exposure therapy is, why it works, why you should do it, all the things that, just break it down real clean for you, and then offer you like almost like a journal, so to speak. And then you could fill out the things that you need to fill out to do this correctly, and then offer that as a free PDF, get your shit together. And if you need some more tailored personal assistance, you can hit me up and I'll walk you through it. Go, book a session with me, and then we could do it together, right? So we can both fill out the shit for you. So you get the more personal. Then maybe you call me and I call you. Now I'm on the phone with you. So hey, what we do today? What happened? Was it good? Was it bad? And we'll go from there. But then you get my personal attention, and then you're getting almost like an accountability coach. Mm-hmm. And what's the one thing people say about me in my whole life? Hype man. I tell every if you're gonna be in my vicinity, and tell me if I'm lying, there's no way I can allow you to not love yourself 100%.
Right.
Don't I force people? Like I almost get mad. Times almost like, it's kind of strong. I can't allow somebody like
be your best. What the fuck?
Because I don't understand it. I don't understand. I mean, listen.
I'm the biggest hater in Chris.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
time with me.
The biggest hater that he knows.
Self. One thing you don't hate is yourself.
You love yourself.
I don't hate you either, Chris.
Right. But my point is that some people really don't believe that they can and that kind of thing. And listen, I know we have different opinions of what's possible and what's not. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Because I rather live in a headspace where everything's possible. I don't give a fuck how crazy it sounds. Mm-hmm. That feels better to me. And I get that there's a level where you want to protect yourself. I get that. There's a level where you want to make sure you have safety and you're good. But there's also a level where you could do that too much and you never do shit. So I'd rather live in that space.
Yeah.
as far as what's fucking possible, and that's what you get.
I feel like I brought this up before, and it's kind of different. But do you have a Patreon?
No,
I feel like you were like, that's low hanging fruit for you to take advantage of, because you put out so much shit for free, and there are people that probably want to support you, but maybe don't like want to call you right away or something like that. But like, you should, no doubt, have a Patreon, because it's not.
Or
that
I'll do an OnlyFans.
I think they're the same thing, but with the OnlyFans,
wait, what's wrong with OnlyFans?
Cares not.
I feel like it's probably the same, except you're not probably doing sexual content.
No, yeah,
so yeah, but Patreon, I don't follow anyone on Patreon or anything like that, but I think there's a couple of people I've thought about it, and it's just like, yeah, because like, I fuck with their content, like, and I maybe don't want to go buy their merch or something, but like the exclusive content and just like having extra access to like a different kind of community. I assume there's like community aspects to it. Like, I think if you're part of the Patreon, you can like chill with other people in the Patreon, I guess. Kind of like, because Discord's really popping off for stuff like that now.
So I actually wrote in a comment on one of the videos today, should I make a Discord? Mm-hmm. Now, was Discord versus, are they like the same? Are they fighting each other? Or
no. Discord's totally different. Discord's something crazy. Honestly, I think it really started out for like gamers. It was really just like a chat room. You could just throw yourself in there and you could just talk with your homies and stuff like that. But I feel like so many businesses have started doing Discords, and it's really just like a
community, right?
Yeah, just like a little
community.
It's like a Facebook group, but different. But
do you have to? Is it like I can set up free?
No, I did. Yeah,
Discord's your choice.
Discord's free. Yeah, I think maybe there's some paid options. I don't know.
And like the Cares Not Nation, I literally put that. I'm like, okay, I should create something where people can go, and it's just those people who
you can create little things. Well, and also low key. I mean, that might solve. I don't know what you're talking about with your calls, but like Discord, obviously does voice over the internet, but it'll do webcam and stuff like that. So
Discord sound.
Yeah, well, it's video too. It's like, so it's like for streaming and for everything. So I'll chat with you, because I think that Discord would maybe be the place that you could facilitate these calls. You could have private rooms. You could say, hop on at this time. You'll be in Discord. You drag them in. Yeah. You could just do it audio. You could just do it video. But like,
I gotta get Discord.
And then you could have, people chatting like, oh, I did this today. And everyone be like, oh, fuck yeah, thumbs up and shit like that. So no, Discord.
Because like the comments section's cool, but this is almost like a little bit more personal to the community.
It's for people that want to fuck with you a little bit more. Well, like I said, it sounds like this, aside from the comments, TikTok kind of sucks for that. And so yeah, there's probably plenty, like all the people that went out of their way to message you and shit, man. I'm sure that they would be, and anyone that wants to consult with you would probably join your Discord. So
why would you not?
I think it makes sense. And then a Patreon, just so you can make some money. I don't think you can technically, I think, pay to like get into the Discord, but that feels a little less like genuine. I feel like Discord should be free, but you have people that fuck with you, and I think you can pretty much set it to whatever. $3, $10, $15, and especially just from the exclusive content perspective, you could just be like, I drop other things here. You could
not here.
Yeah, like that could be. You could take the full podcast only available on the Patreon. Like we'll do the clips, do that sort of stuff, but like special stuff for people. So
make it exclusive. All right, Discord, I'm on it.
Yeah, I got into a heavy.
Shout out to the Cares Not Discord about to start.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it, I've seen it, but I just didn't step in. But we're about to get out of here.
I'll show you.
Yeah, you have to, because that's fine.
Yeah, I got a heavy when I was doing the NFT stuff. Crazy. It was
Discord.
They use Discord for the whole. You find the NFTs through Discord. Everybody's going through Discord for the whole shebang. It's like Discord and OpenSea.
I remember Clubhouse was the thing. That shit kind of fell off, didn't it?
It got real.
But Discord,
sketchy.
I think, is
why? How did it get sketchy?
Just a bunch of hood rats on there now, talking about gang shit.
Really?
You hear 21 Savage on there?
No.
You gonna die.
Clubhouse turned into that?
Yeah,
I thought it was like everybody, like Elon Musk. I thought that was the thing.
It was.
Oh, man. Hey, I want to ask y'all before we get out of here. Is there any parts of 2020 that you miss?
Oh, okay.
Any part of what?
2020 that you miss?
2020?
Oh, like the pandemic?
Yeah.
Or like
the heart of that shit. Stay your ass in the house days. Is there any parts that you miss?
Oh yeah, of course. I think no traffic was huge.
That was crazy.
When you did have to go someplace, you could just get there. That was sick. And I felt like everything was like pretty laid back. Like I think everyone was kind of like, this is the time to like dick around. Obviously, as it got longer, it was like, okay, now it's just an inconvenience. But for the first like month and a half, I think people were like, kind of fuck yeah, like they were just day drinking, doing stupid shit. Like it had. aside from the pandemic, people dying vibes, it was like low key, kind of like a little vacation. It was like a snow day for.
It was like a long ass snow day,
yeah.
2-year snow day.
Well, we didn't expect it to do that, but
yeah.
What about you, D?
I think I like the kind of like you. I like the slower pace of it all. It seemed like the air was clearer, just cleaner. It was just like a time like I knew was not gonna ever happen again in my lifetime. So it was kind of cool to just experience all of the secludedness for a second.
Yeah, for me, it was
good timing for me.
Is while the shit was popping off, it felt like we all were kind of in this thing together.
Yeah.
It's like, so, the way I looked at it is, I mean, if something gonna pop off, it's gonna pop off with everybody on the earth. So, that kind of gave me solace because I was like, oh, okay, well,
When I feel like, so much like news and stuff, it's like, oh, like some shit happened in China. And you're like, where even is that? Like, it's like, who gives a fuck, basically?
Right.
Some shit happens in Africa and you're like, oh, whatever, or like even some shit in California, like, no, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, the whole world was in the pandemic.
whole world.
The whole entire world.
Everybody.
Once the billionaires started shutting stuff down, I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking off. It is a wrap.
Yeah, that's what me and Steve said, because you heard about it, March 10th or whatever it was. And then when the NBA canceled that game,
they started. I was like,
they're canceling
not
games?
gonna ever cancel.
Remember, homie was like,
he was like,
he touched the shit, and they was like,
he had Kobe.
The nigga destroyed the world doing that shit. Do you remember that scene? There was a scene.
The next day.
What's dude's name for the Timberwolves now? Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, yeah. He was joking.
Kobe. he was like.
The very next day, tested positive.
He had COVID and 50 million people died.
The next day.
All right, y'all. D, man, where can they find you, man?
Prettycoolposes.com. Please find me there. I'm offering my services. My services is my body, myself, my likeness. No, but I'm
my body.
Get the voice line up. My bad.
My body. No, I'm offering sip and draw parties. If you have a nice event that you want to add a little spunk to, you can do that with me.
What about a big spunk?
Big
you need to get the extra package.
Yeah. Do you have like a package. I know him package?
That's the pretty cool package. That's the regular way. I need some real shit. Okay. Pretty wild package. But no, you can find me prettycoolposes.com.
Hey D, wait, hold on, D. What if someone comes to you like, look, bro,
it's gonna be some boundaries going. I have to realize that too.
We got $10,000.
I was about to say, like, boundaries with what though? Like you're saying, like,
well, first of all, I didn't know where he was going.
They're like, we'll paint you first, but then you need to fuck this chick.
I mean, there's boundaries I gotta set.
I think there's price points you gotta set, dude. Price points.
The moral of the story is D is going to create his own boundaries.
Yeah, I gotta. I mean, I'm gonna have to because motherfuckers gonna get physical. I'm a specimen. You can't just be crawling up on the specimen. Security. What the fuck?
Will they be allowed to touch the goods?
No.
Why would they, Chris?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a stripper.
All I'm saying.
I'm an art model.
A motherfucker come at you with a mill ball. Touch me. Touch.
Go
me,
ahead,
Tim.
baby.
You gonna who can I touch? Let me touch.
If you're willing to give me $1 million to touch you,
okay, all right. So there's levels to this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying that's I'm not. Hopefully, I wouldn't. I don't know.
No, but are you willing to add like cool little like different? Ain't nothing weird. I'm talking about like, would you be willing to add to it? And add to the pack.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna add to my business as I go, but I mean, motherfuckers don't gotta touch me necessarily.
No, yeah, no.
I mean, what I'm saying is what I'm doing.
I'm sorry.
What I'm doing with my life drawing session that's on Pretty Cool Poses is like I do that professionally. People come in and draw me, so as an amateur, if you just want to have a good time, then like draw with your homegirls or something like that, and
with drinks,
let's go with hors d'oeuvres.
Are you gonna have? There's drinks too, or no? Right?
Hors d'oeuvres and champagne, yeah.
Okay, so
depending on what package you get.
Because what if they talking about we got here? We
I mean, BYOB, do your thing. It's your location.
Huh? You just trying to hammer this in. He
because
just wants you to admit that
someone's gonna no. Someone's gonna be like, we drinking Henny in this.
No, bring your own bottle. That's all shit. It's your location. I'm gonna show up with depending on what package you buy, you can have hors d'oeuvres, a model, and champagne. I can get that one complimentary for you. But of course, bring your own shit.
That's gonna be I think that's.
I think that's
Keep your hands to yourself.
I mean, this is.
We just gotta market that idea, bro, because it's gonna work.
Absolutely, yeah, I like that one. So that's one of my services, and then I have the drawing. But I'm also wanting to get into commercial. You mentioned commercials a little bit. I want to start making commercials, like actual commercial storytelling commercials for the brands. I think that's the next level too.
Almost like the DJ Khaled of it. Like, are you going to be the person who? Because are you going to produce it, or are you going to hire someone like Tom? Like, how is your business plan?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think throughout all of our education, hiring people for it would be the best way to go for it. So actually,
you will be like a DJ Khaled almost.
Yeah, most likely.
Which would be the smartest way, because it would be the highest quality at the quickest amount of time.
Exactly. So I think I want to start working on that with our brands, because we have a story and like a purpose, a value, all of those things now. Like, we can tell 30-second stories and shit like that. 10-seconders, things
so I
like
think
that.
That had a lot to do with like marketing and like human psychology. I bet there's a lot of that in that.
Yeah, it's a lot of, what I'm thinking is, because you have a service now, and because I have a service too that we can kind of stand on with clientele, like part of that is bringing people in, and all that stories are bringing people in. So if you can give them little shots of Cares None, I can get them little shots of pretty cool poses,
right, which is essentially an ad.
Which is essentially an ad. You know what I mean?
You want to do commercials.
Right, exactly. But I want to just clean it up with our actual brand taste in mind, and all the things that come with that. Put the brand product in it, so along with presenting the service.
High quality commercials.
Yeah. Okay. Present that. That can be something.
What about you, Tom? Where can they find you? What you got going on, man? What's coming up?
ChicagoPodcast.studio. We have our new set. Book the new set. Do some shit. Send a nice little happy birthday to your grandma. Do a YouTube video. Do whatever you want, but use the new space.
Oh, that's right.
I spent my whole life savings.
Yeah, throw a couple of examples. People who like.
Oh man, you can do whatever. Hey, anything you can dream of. If you want to paint somebody naked and fondle them, we don't have policies about that sort of shit.
So
you can do whatever
you have
you
no
want.
boundaries.
Well, whatever in that space, whatever you want to do in there, that's for you guys to do.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Chris, you shout out your stuff.
Like
and let
hostels.
them know about all the new stuff. Now that we've had this conversation, you're gonna be doing next podcast. You're gonna have a Discord. You're gonna have a
100%.
Patreon. You're gonna have some. Yeah, you tell.
Well, you can find me at caresnone.com. Everything, products and services. Oh, also. And I think this is kind of underrated now, because I've been taking the email list kind of serious as fuck. And I'm offering game. And I'm like, so I'm the email list that you're getting actual value. I'm not just pushing you here's a coupon today, because I feel like that's lame. It's probably 95% game or storytelling, or suggested book or this. And then I so happen to every now and again throw in I throw a link to this website on every email. But I don't really mention here's a coupon or come by. It's just, this is purely for the game. If you want to get a little bit more in depth, kind of like the Discord, but for email, essentially like that. So hop on the email list. There's a lot of free game. And also on the site, I want the site to be more of a place, and we've been talking about this for years, where you're coming for actual resources.
Right.
So then you have a reason to that you might want to come back to the site, right? Whereas before, okay, so I go to your site, Chris, and then I see some hoodies and I see that about me, and then, okay, let's say I purchase or I don't, why should I come back? Unless you were enticed from a different piece of content. So now what I want to do is make it so that you can click on resource. I believe I put it is resource, social anxiety resources.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably have other resources too for confidence, all the things that I'm, who I am and how I'm helping people. And you can go there to read a bunch of different blogs and shit, a bunch of different ideas, a bunch of different stories. Go there to get resources. And then, you know what? I like the content I'm getting. I like the email list. I like his content on social media. Let me go ahead and book a call.
Right.
Get the personal help. Oh, and the PDF for the exposure therapy. So it'll be free. And that'll really help. That'll get you started doing your own exposure therapy. So then you can live fucking vicious and dope like me.
Not vicariously.
Yeah, not vicariously. You actually be that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And as always,
pow, pow, pow.
Cares None. I'm not gonna do it, Tom.
No, dude, it's still going. We're still running.
I'm not gonna do it. Tom don't like when I do that, y'all.
I do. It's my favorite. I love it. What do you...
That's a great podcast.